Hello and good day. My name is Chris Palmer with chrispalmer.org. In today's Google Maps SEO video, what I'd love to go ahead and answer for you is the importance of optimizing your Google reviews if you have the opportunity to do so. I received a question from a subscriber. The subscriber asks this, and this comes from Icebreaker. Thank you for the question. I get this question a lot, and the words that are inside of your reviews are monumental. Is GBP and search, these are different products, right? Google Business Profile, Google Maps, Google Search, these are different products by Google. When we're talking about a website, we can go wide. But when we're talking about Google Maps, we need to be optimized. The businesses that are getting rewarded in Google Maps in 2024 are the businesses that, who are they? What do they do and where they're at? They're hyper optimized around their service or service types, right? Their area, and then they're going super optimized for this particular service in this particular area. This is just an outline to show the importance of reviews. So here's before when we had reviews, right? All the reviews were removed or scrutinized. This is September the 3rd. The reviews are back, right? Taken away, back. This is the power of reviews. So now that we've addressed the power of reviews, we have to start looking at, well, what's important inside of a review. All right, I want to show you something. All right. Now, we've ran other tests related to this, but here's what I want to point out. Let's just say that we are a business owner here in Richmond. So it's Richmond, VA. All right. If I'm a business in Richmond, Virginia, Google has clearly identified what is Richmond, Virginia. If this is your main area of focus, Richmond, Virginia, we know that Richmond needs to show up inside of our reviews. Now, we're either going to hyper optimize if we only service Richmond. Now, sometimes you might want to go all the way to a 10-mile radius, right? You can generally rank. Sometimes guys get lucky. If there's no competition, it's a weird niche. But usually if there's competition in any type of city, 100K or more, 10 miles, 8 to 10 mile radius, and be a winner, right? With that being said, I know that entities, people, places, and things are very, very important for optimization. I understand that states are entity-based, but we know that Google Maps being a product, right, just like Google Search, we know that they're rewarding optimized. They're rewarding the winner. Who's the trusted? Who is the expert that's trusted in that area that does this? Who is the expert? That's who they reward, right? The people that, if you have your Google Maps and you have a bunch of different categories in there, a bunch of different services, you usually get rewarded for what? One, your primary, right? You hyper tune for your area and the services you provide. So back to this example. When I take a look at Richmond, I either want to go, if I only service Richmond, I either want to go in here and talk about in my reviews about Church Hill, right? Carlton, High Oaks, Melithonian, I'm probably pronouncing these wrong, South Richmond, British Camp Farms, right? These small towns or neighborhoods, location information needs to show up in reviews, but hyper tuned to where I'm at. Now, we know that I'm only going to get 8 to 10 miles. Now, if you're in a low competition market, you could probably go a little bit wider, right? But really, I want to hit 8 to 10 miles, and I want to be hyper specific talking about Richmond if my business is in Richmond, and see how there's an outline. Google knows what's here. They know the towns. They know the neighborhoods. So I want to also repeat back to them, hey, let's just say that you are a ad agency. John from Ad Agency X has helped our business in Stratford Hills far exceed our old marketing agency, yada, yada, yada. Location information that's hyper specific to your area. Check. Main location that's hyper specific to your area. Check. These are the words that we want to show up. If you want to go a little bit broader, it needs to be actual places on the map that Google is outlining. Ideally, I want to also have corresponding pages on my website in main A tags, in headers, on the homepage, like Have I clearly defined on the page that I'm connected Google Maps to, right? You know how you have to connect your website, either your homepage or an internal page? On the page that's connected, do I have an A tag, a hyperlink that says the word Richmond? Do I have a hyperlink that says the word Stratton Hills? And do I also have a hyperlink and words on that page that have to do with the services that I'm trying to rank for? We're not talking about website here, but the page that's connected can influence your maps listing. What we're trying to do is optimize for location and service. You with me so far? So when we're talking about our hypothetical ad agency in Richmond, I want to use people entities are key. So Richmond, neighborhoods and towns. But then we have to look at, as far as optimizing our reviews, we want to look at our services. What are words that are often talked about when talking about an ad agency, right? So these are the other words that we want to show up. Words like marketing, words like ads, advertising, digital media. Like, what are the words? Another way to pull this out is if you come over here and put in advertising agency, what you're going to see on the left-hand side are there's no better co-occurring key phrase than top performers that are using the phrase, right? Like we can go and get, tools that are like the NLP tool. We can go and get tools to pull what's semantically correct. That's great. That's fine. You can use those. But I want to take a look at not only are they semantically correct, but 1,756 websites are utilizing this. What's more relevant? The thing that's semantically correct or the thing that's semantically correct and everybody's using it? So here, this is another way to get co-occurring key phrases, right? Advertising agency, if that's what we're doing, we're looking at here, right? You can also search by volume, the words digital, market, near, creative. Like take a look, use what makes sense, okay? Also another one that you can utilize, I made videos on TextRaiser. You can also use Google's NLP. We're looking for entity words or co-occurring key phrases. Words that are often talked about when talking about a specific, whatever you're doing, ad agency. Relevance equals rank. So I want to talk about locations, hyper specific to wherever my business is. That's towns, neighborhoods, or the main locale. I also want to use variations of the state that I'm in. In this case, it's Virginia. VA, right? Virginia, the neighborhoods, the towns. I want to use co-occurring key phrases in the reviews. I want to use main entities in the reviews. This is what we're trying to do, right? Now we're tuned. Our website says who we are, what we do, and where we're at. Our GBP says it. And then on top of that, I hope that you're getting traffic for those same key phrases from those same areas that we're servicing. And then on top of that, the last piece of it to finalize that customer journey, I get a review talking about those locations and those services from the area that I'm servicing. I hope this makes sense to you. This is an ideal situation. And then there's little small things that we can do, right? Let's build on this. All right. So the concept of having a hyper optimizer review. Now, of course, it has to read properly, but Google can't read, right? But it needs to read properly. But emphasis on entity usage, right? People, places, things, co-occurring key phrases. And don't forget, your primary services are oftentimes entities like plumber, agency, like generally considered an entity, right? Also use your state variations, neighborhoods, towns, services. All right. So now to add on top or to build on top of this to make a more optimal review, how can we do this? Well, the next thing that we can go and do is if you take a look at this, all right, social signals, right? It's one thing for us to optimize for a service in a location. That's one piece. It's a whole nother validation, right? Like Google's always testing and validating. We could see this when we run traffic, right? But nothing validates an entity or a business better than user engagement, user signals, right? So another piece that we can do is, let's just say that we are a plumber, all right? If I know that customers are the finish line or the cherry on top as far as the customer journey for optimization, They've utilized these words. They're from the area. They're talking about the towns, the cities, the states, the state abbreviations. They're talking about my services. They have my entities. Now, the next thing to make that even more credible or to build on that idea is, can I get multiple customers to repeat this? And then if I want to optimize even more, well, what did the top performers have multiple customers say? And that's what we're trying to emulate. Let me showcase this for you. So let's just say I'm just pulling this out of a hat. This is for educational purposes only. I do not know who this business is. All right. But when we come inside of here and we go to reviews, Google is going to pop out entity or co-occurring key phrases based on multiple usage. If you take a look at, it doesn't matter. But Firebase, before it was Firebase, there's another platform. I can't think of the name of it, but each of these will have a M code or an entity ID. All right. Now, what we're trying to do is we want to figure out, well, which co-occurring key phrases are the top performers using multiple times? This means that 77 of their customers said the word technician. So what we want to look at is top players in our market, which words are showing up most often that our competition has. And this is how you look, right? Like, what are the words? We want to make sure that we're encompassing those words into our particular reviews. Now, why is that? Just like websites, just like traffic, just like backlinks, do we look like a winner? Yes or no, right? Here's the winner template. This is the traffic. This is the clicks they get. This is the reviews they get. We're matching and mirroring. I can't have 121 reviews, or in this case, 483 reviews, and my customers didn't say the word technician, questions, maintenance, or plumbers. You see where we're going? Match and mirror. What words need to show up? Most notably, these are entities and or co-occurring key phrases. All right. They wouldn't show up in this box right here unless they had an M code or a G code associated with it. It's not Firebase. I forget the name of the platform, but with that being said, that's another way to build on top. The next way to build on top of this, there's one more optimization before I end this video, is going to be what other entities can I add to a review? We know that anything that has been given a entity ID holds more weight, right? Words have been given entity IDs, right? These words, they have an entity base. Google knows what they are. They've been documented. But we also have to think about, well, what other elements can I add to this review that have entity IDs? Relevance equals rank. So images. Images can help propel a particular review, especially if the image has wording on it and or very defined features of what the review is talking about, most notably writing words on top. But not every review can have a photo. Like this, the probability of this happening is highly unlikely. All right. So that's another way to add on top of it. We're adding images that are hyper specific to the service or location. Google has mapped the entire planet. When you take a photo, chances are they're going to know kind of, depending on the photo. Like, we want to make sure that if we can get a good photo, is it clear and evident where this is? Is it clear and evident what is in the photo? And have we put writing on top of it? These are ways to better optimize. Okay. The next element to build on top, we'll go one more. I'm going to go with just one last one as far as reviews. Reviews hold so much weight because it's the end game, right? We talked about entities, looking at competitors. We talked about people, places, and things, adding states and state variations. Fill those reviews up. Of course, you can leave. A response. We've tested this to massive degrees. The response holds little to no weight. The weight is in the actual interaction. The only way that a response is going to hold any weight is if you do not respond within 24 hours. If you get 10 reviews and let them all sit and do not respond within 24 hours, you will see a demotion. Not crazy, but if you're running grids every day, you'll see the difference. With that being said, photos, words, entities, locations. I want to add one more as far as the reviews are concerned, and that's going to be the guides. Okay. Now, not all guides are created equal. I need to point this out. Just like adding the images that are entity-based, yes, they add a level of importance to that review. Oftentimes it will be perceived as most recent or most relevant. If you take note, when you go to reviews, they're sorted by relevance, right? When I go to reviews, these are sorted by most relevant. See? So to make a review more relevant, relevance equals rank. If I add a photo, oftentimes it'll shoot to the top. What also will shoot to the top is local guides. But as I was just talking about, not all guides are created equal. All right. If I'm going to have a local guide, I can't have a local guide that was created in Bangladesh, transferred to US, and then 900 images have been uploaded in the last 30 days. Now, I'd much rather have a local guide 3 where the reviews are within a 50-mile radius or whatever the local guide is. Like when you go in at the profile, like were they answering questions? Were they visiting, uploading photos, talking about businesses, leaving reviews? Like how they achieve the local guide status. Was it achieved in the central area in which I'm getting the review? If that is the case, that review will shoot up to the top because the sort order is based on relevance of review. All right. I hope this has been helpful. The big key here is location information trumps key terms. Make sure you're using the name of the technician that shows up inside of your reviews. People, places, things. Co-occurring key phrases, LSI. Figure out what your competition is utilizing. Utilize images and local guides. I hope this has been helpful. My name is Chris Palmer with chrispalmer.org.